6 total shootings, 6 total victims, 4 here on Holly Hill Drive behind me where I am now. As the fan district continues to grow, that means more people competing for those some 5,000 spaces, and they go pretty quick. It's a 16.19K foot race. That's just over 10 miles, covering over 400 years of Black history right here in the River City. The only thing scarier than Halloween is the speeding that happens on this road just about every day. I'm A.J. Nwoko, and coming up in just a bit, I'll tell you how one couple is using their Halloween decorations to send a message for drivers to slow down. So I decided to see just how bad the problem is myself with this radar gun. And after a few minutes, I recorded car after speeding car. And some vehicles are hitting speeds over 35 miles an hour. That's over twice the posted speed limit. Somehow this crook was able to break into the restaurant before store hours and knew exactly where to go to get the cash. It's too bad he didn't know he was on surveillance camera, and now this family wants to make him famous. Because in the digital age, those images and status updates we post could last forever. For several months, this wooden pallet and a few cones were the only thing keeping neighbors from driving over this hole. It's gotten so big that I could almost fit my whole body in it. You think you have what it takes to be a Petersburg firefighter? Well, the department is recruiting. I'm A.J. Nwoko, and I'll tell you how you can apply coming up. People who rely on their internet service provider to make phone calls are having a hard time doing just that because of copper wire theft. Because once those lines are cut, you won't be able to make any phone calls to friends, family, or even emergency services. If you're stopped by police, rather than risk reaching over to grab your information, all of it would be to the left of your steering wheel. But Trent isn't just renovating these tennis courts, he's updating the entire sports complex so that this can be a safe place for adults and youth to escape to. And even with this metal plate in place, city officials worry they could have a collapse on their hands if anybody tries to drive over it. This is his 6th year running the half marathon. He came through literally swinging across the finish line. He just loves running that much. And starting this week, you should receive a new bill in the mail with the corrected amount. You can plug in your data over the internet, or you can even use your phone. But if you don't submit that data online or over the phone, there's always a tried and true method of going door to door. I'm A.J. Nwoko here on Richmond's Southside, speaking with officers about how they're bridging the gap with the community using these horses. Noble says the thieves use this small storage shed as footing to hop over the fence. Then once on the other side of the enclosure, they grabbed some rope and started tying the goats up. Somehow, they were able to break into his car without setting off any alarms and without being seen. And it's not just the pandemic impacting data collection. Officials say fear and distrust is also keeping people from opening their doors. Not all hope is lost for people at risk for eviction, but the experts tell me if you want that relief, you need to be proactive and you need to be quick about it.
AJ, how much are we talking here?
Nakia, this is an area that currently lacks any traditional safety measures, so we're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars just to install them.
I've just been trying to get back into dance after taking a break for a while.
These days, many of us are finding more time on our hands, but for Morgan Bullitt, a lot of that time goes to her feet. Her specialty, a form of Irish step dancing known as river dance. Morgan has been doing it for over a decade.
It's not something that a lot of people know too much about unless they have a direct connection to it.
But if you didn't know before,
like everyone was doing the Savage Remix challenge on TikTok, and I'm like, well, I want to participate in this challenge, so I'm going to do it the way that I know how.
Then consider this 20-year-old's TikTok video an introduction. Those beats and rhythms.
Didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did.
Resonating with millions around the world.
I can't even keep track of how many people have shared it.
Getting shares from the likes of Ireland's Prime Minister. Even Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, reposted the viral video.
Beyonce's mom reposted the video on her Instagram, which was insane. Like, I almost dropped my phone when I saw that.
But even greater than the retweets and the IG follows.
And I've gotten messages from other people of color who like Irish dancing and never thought they could do it.
The connection Morgan has made with those who now look up to her.
My video showed them that they could if they wanted to, so that alone has been amazing. Yeah, a lot of people have said that it's been like a breath of fresh air with all that's going on.
A breath of fresh air and a rhythmic distraction we could all use a little more of these days. On your side in Richmond, A.J. Nwoko, NBC 12 News.
We want to bring in A.J. Nwoko, who has more on his ties to Richmond. A.J.?
Thank you, Makia. Yeah, it's unclear at this time if Jones was trying to make his way back to his family, but he did grow up around here, and he was actually arrested in the intersection where I'm standing right now on Acton Street and Edgelon Street. And right now, his family is just trying to figure out what went wrong.
I couldn't believe it was him. I still can't believe it now.
The last time Christopher Darnell Jones Sr. spoke with his son was about a month ago.
And he came to the house and he did his laundry. And we sat and talked, and he was doing real well.
That's why he's heartbroken and confused about the accusations against his son.
I don't know what happened between then and now to cause this to happen.
Jones Sr. says the 22-year-old didn't begin living with him and his grandmother until around his high school years.
He got into school, got on the football team at Petersburg High, and excelled. He excelled in everything. He was everybody's friend. Everybody loved Chris, especially when he flashed his teeth, he smiled.
But when they last spoke, Jones Sr. admits something was off about his son.
He had some problems. When the last time I talked to him, he said some people was picking on him or whatever. He didn't know how to handle it. I just told him, no, just go to school. Don't pay him no mind. Do what you got to do. He was real paranoid when I talked to him about something. He wouldn't tell me everything.
According to police, the shooting happened Sunday night at a parking garage on UVA grounds, where Jones opened fire on a bus filled with UVA football players, killing 3 of them and injuring 2 others. At some point after that, Jones drove to eastern Henrico, not far from his mother's home. At one point, U.S. Marshals swarmed her home, but the 22-year-old wasn't there. He was ultimately arrested by Henrico police on Acton Street and Edgelon Street, about 5 minutes away. Now the only question on his father's mind:
what happened? Why did it have to get this far? He could have called me.
And as he and his family try to process this great tragedy, his heart goes out to the families of the victims.
I don't know what to say, except I'm sorry on his behalf, and I apologize. He's not a bad kid. He really isn't. I just don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened to cause all of this.
Council members are saying that after witnessing the damage and seeing the speeding for themselves here on Montero Street, they agree more needs to be done.
But this year it just hasn't really felt like Christmas.
Marilyn Joyner says all she wants for Christmas this year is a brand new porch.
I'm not even in really the spirit of even decorating this year.
And a neighborhood safe from speeding. Her porch is under construction after being destroyed by cars speeding and crashing into her home off the First Street Bridge. She fears another crash could be around the corner.
I just don't know what to say, because sometimes I get so emotional.
That's why Monday she and her neighbors took their concerns straight to city leaders.
It's the only part of my commute that I really don't feel safe.
We need your help to make it safe enough for us all to enjoy our porches and front yards.
Please take further action as far as getting me some more protection for my property.
In September, the city installed rumble strips on the First Street Bridge leading to Montero Street. But that's done little to stop the speeding here on this 15-mile-an-hour bridge, so I decided to see just how bad the problem is myself with this radar gun. And after a few minutes, I recorded car after speeding car. And some vehicles are hitting speeds over 35 miles an hour. That's over twice the posted speed limit. I reached out to Councilwoman Ellen Robertson's office, but was told she was not available to speak. However, during Monday's city council meeting, she agreed with Joyner that what's been done is not enough.
But I agree with you. I think we need to look at that more critically based on the level of damage that I have seen done to your property, more than several occasions. And we will be coming out there and putting our feet on the site and looking at what actually can be done.
We know exactly what the answers are. We know how to deal with speeding. It's not a mystery.
Joyner says speed bumps would be a great start.
I'm really hopeful that they will pay more attention and give us this attention that we need to have maybe 3 humps on this block not just this block, but all the way down Monterio, all the way down to the other curve.
Now, Robertson says that she is planning on meeting with the Department of Public Works to come right here where I am now at the scene on Montero Street to determine what more needs to be done, but no hard date for that has been set. We'll let you know as soon as one is. That'll do it for us now, live and on your side on Richmond's north side. A.J. Nwoko, NBC 12.